Hi guys, it's me, Kathy, MrsHandyRU. Hope everybody's doing really well today and that you have some sun shining on you. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about my shirt. I have a new shirt, and it's hard to see, but look, I'll show you like this. See? Long Beach, oh, I have to pull it way up, Island, and it has a whale on it. And I just picked it out, you know, I thought it was cute, I like the color, and it's so funny what it turns out it means. So, there's a whale, and I've been thinking about whales, like, is it a whale that is the beast from Revelation 11, you know, in the two witnesses? So, whale is 49, it equals Mr. R, I am God, die hard, escape, danger, undead, Dallas, and TEX for Texas, endgame. So I thought that was pretty cool. I brought these up before. Many times I brought up 49. So that's what whale equals. And it also equals spam. And when I was growing up, we had fried spam instead of bacon. So we had fried spam and eggs, which I still like, believe it or not. And we had an awesome tiger cat, you know, a really adorable cat, and we named it Spam. So it was fun that it equaled spam too. So all together on my shirt it says Long Beach Island with the picture of the whale. So I did the whole thing, and that's 175. It equals what we've been talking about. Exactly, the Great Deception, the Secret Revealed, 77, Misinformation, Elect are not deceived, and Nothing happened. All of that, all of those phrases are 175. Right along with what we've been talking about at the cross. So that was pretty interesting, and I'm doing simple gematria in case somebody's new, and it's A equals 1 through Z equals 26, and I use Gematrix.org, and when you have 3 choices when you use that site, and I choose the third one for calculating, and it does it for you. You don't have to do the calculating, and I use simple. So that's what this is all about, and it's God talking to us. Now another 175 equals beast overcame them. You know, and I've been wondering, is the beast a whale? I also wonder if it's a chimera, Chimera, and that is, let's see, that's like a, I guess that's, from what I understand from Greek mythology, it's a creature, and it's got the DNA of 2 different beings. So when you put it together, it's a chimera. Oh, and I totally forgot an even more exciting one on my shirt. Long Beach Island equals 126. And guess what that equals? It's 107. So pretty fun, huh? Then I thought, okay, you know, I've been trying all kinds of questions in Gematrix.org. I thought, okay, let's put in, is the beast a whale? I mean, it could be. It could be a chimera. It could be, who knows? So, okay. So that equals 158. That happens to equal a really favorite phrase that is in Sherlock Holmes. And it equals, my dear Watson. So all those phrases that you hear a lot in Sherlock Holmes all mean something. And if you've followed me along for a while, you'll know that Sherlock Holmes is all coded. And I've got some different episodes on that. Come on up, honey. It's Rosie. Come on. You can come up. It's okay. Okay. She'll come up when she's ready. Okay. So, is the beast a whale is 158. And it equals release the Kraken. You know, that was going on through Twitter a while. Well, whatever. I'm not on Twitter. But that was a popular hashtag for a while. And so, isn't that cool? Release the Kraken. That could be what happens, right? Judgment is here. My life is over. Splish splash. Dropping anchor. Life preserver. I mean, these are all water related and creature and end of the world, not end of the world, but end of someone's life related, you know. Please forgive me, you know, because of what happened in the Garden of Eden that wasn't good. That sounds like it was eating human DNA. I don't even want to say the word right now. Saint Mary Magdalene, another Christ, food poisoning. So, I mean, that could be for one of the FFs the white hats do when it looks like, you know, the world is ending. And, you know, it'll look like our food's just, our food and our water's poisoned and who knows what. Fake everything. Stay strong. Sorry, the cat's on top of me. Perfect storm. Everybody dies. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, and underestimated. So this is just a little train of thought, you know. I'm always coming up with theories and going the way that the Gematria and the decoding sends me to develop the theories. So this is a little side shoot of that. So stay strong, underestimated, and then it's killer of giants. Okay, these are all 158. Global witness, back to the witnesses again. By George, we did it. Okay, by George, we did it. And we know who it sounds like George is. Okay, by George, we did it. Tip of the spear. And we've always heard that, you know, President Trump is the tip of the spear. And, you know, there's a photo of him online where he's in his graduating class, or maybe it was just a class photo, and he's in the front of the triangle as the tip of the spear. And yeah, what else? Two-edged sword, 10 of swords, like from Tarot by Janine, her things. Adapt, survive. That's the two words together. So I'm wondering, like, just from those last few, do they win? Do they go against the beast and they win? You know, with all the things about the spear and killer of giants. So that's just a thought to, you know, keep there in the back of your mind. And Emmy winners matches. So it's funny, is the beast a whale? All of these things match. Is the beast a whale? Nothing burger, one of our phrases. Hallucinations, Emmy winners. It's just interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think the beast could be a whale or a chimera or a chimera? I think it's chimera. And what do you think about Adam and Eve and Garden of Eden? And I don't know. Do you think that they look like they pass on and then they're just, you know, raised up? Because another match too is the beast, a whale, is learning to fly. So, I mean, could they go up and it looks like a flash, and like the great flash and the sky event? You know, there was in our favorite and on post, there was something about sky event. I think that could be the sky event. So it's kind of like I'm going back and forth about this. So I'd really like to know what you guys think. So just stop the video. Even though it says it's a premiere, premieres are not live. I don't know if you know that, but that's how I can chat with you, because it's not live, but it's the first time that it's out there. If it's live, it will just say live. So I don't want to confuse you guys, but you can stop this video, even though it says premiere, and put your comments in. So anyway, beyond all that, I caught the very end of President Trump's rally. I was tired, I got to admit. And anyway, so you can watch it on RSBN on their Rumble page. They can't keep the rallies on YouTube. They're only allowed to broadcast live. Then they can't post the video. They have to post a video on Rumble because of all the restrictions that they're under. So the day that happened, I was working on Cap of Invisibility, and I was reading about the Cyclops and that they made weapons. It's so strange. The Cyclops with the one eye, you know, they made weapons for each of the Olympian gods and goddesses. So, anyway, you're going to think I'm crazy. So, to me, because of other things I was decoding before all this, that JFK used a cap or a cloak of invisibility to help him get off the limo as a hunched old man in a disguise, you know, with a hat and a cane and all that, and go to the cab that was driven by a good guy, maybe even general, you know, somebody that was very trustworthy. So it's just funny. The reason I bring that up is a phrase that I worked out from the rally, the last President Trump rally, was, if I make you happy. He was talking about running again. Like, he's still president, but anyway, if I make you happy, which is funny. He hasn't said that before. He said that 2 times, which is always a clue to figure it out. It equals 200, which is Lord Jesus Christ, 10 days of darkness, time to say goodbye. And I keep wondering, is he going to look like he's, you know, poisoned, or is he going to even meet the beast? I don't know. Whatever. You guys try to help me with it. Help me. So time to say goodbye. Mount Rushmore. I wonder if it could look like, you know, Mount Rushmore is like obliterated on our little high-end movie that we'll be watching when it looks like everything's falling apart. So another 200, this is the key one, is Cap of Invisibility. Not cape, but cap. You know, and it's just so funny because he makes a big deal out of throwing out caps to the audience. Like, he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to throw out trumpets. You know, he doesn't have to. All the other people that work for him could do that. But he does it. So Cap of Invisibility matches If I Make You Happy at 200. Just something to keep in mind. So I didn't have a timestamp. It was live when I watched it. But on the, if you want to check it out, it was 8:59 on the RSBN clock down in the corner. So it was, you know, pretty near the end. And he said this again. He said, oh, so awesome. He said, my uncle's name, my uncle passed away, so did, you know, my dad. All my uncles and my dad, they were all brothers, obviously. There was just four boys in the family. And their parents, or my grandparents, were both from Scotland. And we always had to think about, oh, how do you pronounce, you know, nobody could spell our name or pronounce our name. They'd spell it the Irish way, but it's Scottish. So anyway, he said, my uncle's name, full name, he said John McLaughlin. And when you say it like that, it's Scottish. Instead of, if you say McLaughlin, like sounds like an F in the middle, it's Irish. And that's the way my dad always explained it to me, so he should know, right? So anyway, John McLaughlin. And when you say it like that, it's M-A-C, which is Scottish, not M-C, L, capital L, A-C-H-L-A-N. And he said, John McLaughlin, great pollster. So I thought that was so exciting. It's just as good as if you said Catherine. I mean, I know he's saying it for me. It's just the most awesome thing. And of course he's saying it for other reasons. I know that, but, and of course John is in there for, you know, our junior. It's really exciting. Yeah. So I decoded John McLaughlin. Even beyond me being excited, I decoded it. That's 115. And that equals, I am the Joker, Lion of Judah, Hidden Deities, John Denver. My 107 is John Denver. So that's really cool that John McLaughlin 115. John Denver is 115. Jim Caviezel is 115. Who played Jesus? I think Jim Caviezel is one of the angels. Anyway, let's see. It's all a joke. Get prepared, because it's all a joke. Mary Magdalene, female goddess, and Ruby Cute. And Ruby Cute was on the sign that our 107, when we very first saw him at the Moon Township rally in Pennsylvania. That would be the very, very first one at Moon Township. He held up a sign, and he was, I mean, I won't say he's the real, what do you call it? I said John Denver is 107. I always say that by mistake. You know, Vincent Fusca. That's what I meant to say. I take it back. So, my Vincent Fusca. So, yeah, when he was Vincent Fusca at the Moon Township rally, when John was the one there, he held up the sign that said Ruby Cute. So, all of that equals, you know, his sign, Ruby Cute. I am the Joker and Mary Magdalene. So, I thought that was awesome. Yeah. I'm sorry. You know, she's on my lap, so. Let's see. So, I decoded Wanna Savin' on Psych Club from just the other day. It was on March 20th. He did a very quick, for him anyway, a very quick video. It was live, and he was doing it with Tom on Psych Club, like I said. And he was calling from Mar-a-Lago live, and you know, it was a little iffy with the video stream, the live stream, and everything that was going on in that little video, it was just over 17 minutes, of course, and I didn't write down the exact minutes like I usually do, I'm sorry. So everything was a code, from the cars that he showed to what the announcer said, because it was all, this is all such a huge movie. So I'm just going to decode that little video, and I think you'll get a big kick out of it. Like I said, it's on Psych Club, and it's just titled, you know, it's the Mar-a-Lago Car Show with 107. You know, it's simple. It sounded just like kind of a little bit boring if you're not into cars. Like, oh, he's talking about cars, and oh, this is a this, and that's a that, and this year, and but it was all coded. So the first words he said were, yeah, that's orange. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, mine's orange. That one's red. So yeah, I mean, way back I knew that yeah was a big deal, because President Kennedy kept saying yeah, yeah, yeah on a phone call with the I can't think of his name, the governor that won in Texas way back. John Connolly. So he goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, so I knew that was a big deal. So yeah is 39, and it equals Jon for John, like Jonathan. Angel. Army, it equals Jackie. And meat. Remember what we talked about in the Garden of Eden. So Jackie and meat equal the same number, 39. Anyway, so orange is 60, and that equals be ready, believe, battle, and kraken, to see, SEA, like they're going to be at the sea when something happens like that. Trial, like this is the great test, the great trial for them. And JoJo, now we've thought of John, right? Well, JoJo for Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. So that's really cool, 60. And he brought it up right off the bat. So JoJo's a big deal in this. Mine's orange, out of that phrase, is 120. It equals I love Mary. Archangel Michael, the architect, and that's a whole story about the architect. I can't think, I won't go into it now, but anyway, the architect. Birth factor, thumbs up, and the movie critics Siskel and Ebert used to say, 2 thumbs up if they liked a movie. So that's kind of funny. And you want a thumbs up if you were in the Roman Colosseum, right? You don't want the thumbs down. Let's see. He said, oh, wait a minute. I missed that. Oh, that one's red. Yeah, that's the next one. That one's red is 129. My future, no time to die. Is that because the spear, right? And winning? Yeah. Pay for evil. Then you go back and forth. It's like, I go back and forth. Like, what's going to happen? Are they going to pay? Well, is it just the trial that's paying for evil, going up against the Kraken, whale, chimera, whatever? Or, you know, is it paying for evil? You have to die, right? I wonder, because this is No Time to Die, which of course was a movie. Pay for evil, life decisions, like paying for what you decided, possibly. Entering hell, Ascension Day. To be honest, the more I get, I mean, I do go back and forth, but the more I get that seem to make sense, sorry about the noise, the more I get is the more I think it is going to happen, and that they go to hell and come back. Yeah, and also 129, beyond Ascension Day, is the return. He said a lot of your audience will recognize that one. He says your audience a lot when he talks to different YouTubers. You know, your audience, like your audience will this or your audience will that. It's a very common thing that he says. That equals 141. It equals Mr. President. So a lot of your audience will recognize that one. Yeah, Mr. President. I am the storm. She is my wife. And 2 make 1. So that's what your audience can refer to. So, and then at the end of that phrase, recognize that one is 185, which happens to be Donald John Trump. Can you see why it's all decodable? That's not by coincidence. So he showed a signature on a red Ferrari, and it was from a comedian named Steve Sabo. I think it is S-A-B-O with a hard A, not a soft. Yeah, and Mr. Handy was sitting there when I was listening, and I said, so is he a conservative comedian? And he said, oh yeah, he's a conservative comedian. So he knew who he was. So Steve Sabo equals 55 JFK JR. It equals Fitzgerald. And departure, hello there, and prime time, mannequin, remember the limo? That wasn't really him by the time we saw the head thing happen on 11/22/63. And it was set up by him, in case you knew, so don't worry, he's here, they're here. So Ferrari is 75, and that's John Jr. And it's magic wand, which President Trump has talked about. I guess we have a magic wand. I guess we have a John Jr. And it also equals Comcast. And that's a cable company, in case you're not from the United States. And I have them for a cable company, so it's kind of unfortunate. But he calls them Concast and not Comcast. And so that equals John Jr. So JR, I should say, not Jr. And let's see, what else matches? Oh, is it? I have to, under this note here, sorry. I took the writing off the page with my sticky note. So 75 also equals windy. You know, just windy out, right? Well, there's a song, Everyone Knows It's Windy, by The Association. I love that song. And everyone knows it's John Jr. is what that means. So I think that's cool. And another funny thing about that song, I looked up the song, and the person who wrote it said that the character was based on a boy. but it was changed to a girl. So that's pretty interesting, isn't it? The way we've got these different males and females flipping around. So I thought that was another nod to the changes that we keep seeing with, you know, movie stars and things like that. So the announcer of the car show then said, award goes to the 1953, and you can look at 53 reversed to 35th POTUS, JFK, and I thought he said Curtis. I mean, it sounded like Curtis to me, a Curtis something, and I couldn't hear the rest of it. So I looked up online to see, is there a car named a Curtis or something from a long time ago? And the first thing that you see when you look that up, I think this is all intentional, is there was a Glenn Curtis with 2 S's, which goes back to the twin reference again, when you see 2's of something. And he called it the first flying car. And you want to make a bet, and when I read that, I'm thinking, you want to make a bet that Juan is in on the development of that right now, because he's involved in all kinds of new technology things that, you know, we haven't heard about. And the man, Glenn Curtis, he called it, another one, the first aerial limousine. So he brings up limousine, and he mentions the Curtis autoplane. All these things are decodable, so if you want to take one of those little words, phrases, and decode it, you'll find out even more. Yeah, all the announcer said, oh wait, I forgot. Curtis had the largest privately owned wind tunnel. So we just came up with windy, right, as a match. Right after that, the announcer talks about somebody named Curtis, and they have the largest privately owned wind tunnel. So it's just definitely all tied together. Then the announcer said, all the artwork you see was set up by her. I couldn't hear who. And all the artwork is 164. And that equals, in a past life I was, and born King Jesus, right ear ringing. And I've already figured out from a previous decodes, a lot of things that I've decoded, that he was Vincent van Gogh. So Junior, as far as I can tell, I mean, maybe it was JFK, but it sounds like it was our Junior, was Vincent van Gogh. So I've got that in a couple of videos ago, I think. Yeah. And another thing that's so cool that matches all the artwork at 164 is this castle in Germany called Charlottenburg. Like Charlotte, you know, the name Charlotte, and then E-N-B-U-R-G. So Charlottenburg, and it's a whole story about Charlottenburg. Now, look over my shoulder. I always do the wrong side. Anyway, that shoulder. You see that frame picture? I've had it a long time, but I just hung it up on that wall. And I love it. It's like I don't know, I think you call it an engraving of Charlottenburg with little watercoloring on it. And anyway, if you guys can identify it, help me. Its signature looks like F-A-E-R. I don't know. Anyway, so I'll try to explain a little bit about it. No, that's not it. Yeah, it's a little further on. But anyway, so Charlottenburg came up, and I had just hung that up. So that's so cool. I mean, everything is like all like we're always talking about. It's a matrix. Well, it really is. Let's see. Oh, and yeah, in Charlottenburg there was I don't know how to say this. Orangery, French. Yeah, was it French? No, it's German. Orangery. O-R-A-N-G-E-R-I-E. And it's just all these orange trees are growing, which was a big deal. And there was supposed to be an amber room, a room that was made out of amber, and it ended up someplace else, but I'll get into that a little bit, a couple minutes later. So, and that makes me think of Orange Man Bad, right? I think all these things are phrases that the good guys have put out there I really do. So Orange Man bad, and the reason he always has like the makeup that makes him look like he's tanning with the goggle marks, and then way back, people would make fun of him and all that. I think it's all tied back to this because I think he's from way back. Well, I know he's from way back, but at least at some point in Germany, and that Donald Drumpf, Drumph, is an important at least that part is an important last name. So I haven't gotten that far yet in figuring it out, but I know that that's important, So the announcer said, great gallery, and that was 131, and that's John F. Kennedy and Don J. Trump. And let's see, then he said, Vince Vinto, that's the announcer, Vince Vinto, will you please make your way up to the stage, the stage. And back then, and a long time ago, W was, let's see, what was it? Oh, I'm going to lose it. Yeah, a W was really two V's. And Karen, our moderator, who's also called KC, when you see her posted on Real Mrs. Handy RU, she told me about that, the V and the V making the W, and I'd never thought about it. So thank you, Karen. And Vince Vinto is 133, and that equals simulation. So this is a simulation, false reality. Like there's probably no Vince Vinto, There's an actor that walked up on stage to get something, and it equals, President Trump's phrase, RIGGED, election. I don't want to come out and say it together. It equals, so Vince Vinto equals this is a hoax, and it equals George Magazine. So whatever you hear, this is a hoax, it's also George Magazine. And when you look at the words, if you write down Vince Vinto and look at it, you'll notice that there's two V's, which makes a W. And remember, Juan used to call in as W way back. For years he called in as W. And so there's two V's, there's two I's, and there's two N's. So it's like there's three sets of twins. There's so many ways of looking at these things. So you could look at it as the W, you can look at it as three sets of twins. It's just so exciting. So I think if you've been listening to my other videos and you're not new, if you're not new, I've been talking about that there's three men that are gods. There's probably a lot more, and there's three women. So, it brings in the divine feminine and all that, so everything's being equalized. And I think there's the one on top now. Is it President Trump? Sometimes I think it is, sometimes I don't. Today I think it is. And that's why his perfect number is 7. So there's 3 men, 3 women, and there's 1 on top. And that's why it's 7. So I was doing Vince Vinto 133. It equals fake president, and God is laughing. I thought that was a fun one. Let's see. So the Amber Room. Yeah, do I need to tell you all that? Well, yeah, I guess I do. So the Amber Room that was supposed to go in Charlottenburg in Germany, it was installed in Berlin City Palace, and given by the Prussian King Frederick William I to his ally Tsar Peter the Great of Russia, the Russian Empire. And the room was installed first it was installed in the Catherine Palace in Russia, and then it ended up in Berlin City Palace. But, even just reading about the descriptions of these things, like it covered more than 55, there's JFKJR right there, square meters in it, and over 6 tons of amber. Can you even imagine? So anyway, so that's a really good, that was like a big old rabbit hole I fell into. So I'm not telling you all I figured out, but it's very interesting. And so I'm back to the Mar-a-Lago Car Show. And winning an award, because that's what the announcer was talking about, is 152. And that equals Le Petit Prince, Original Soul, you know, Adam and Eve, and however you want to look at it. I think there were two Adams. I really do. I think they were twins. V for Vendetta, Don't Worry, and Double Trouble. Original Soul, Double Trouble. So 152 also equals, oh, this is a tough one. Hohenzollern. Now that's German. Hohenzollern, I don't know. Don't laugh. And 7 generations of that family reigned at, it's the wrong arm, Charlottenburg. Okay? So winning an award equals the family that reigned at the castle for 7 generations. 7. So Juan is basically saying to look into President Trump, Germany, Charlottenburg, King Frederick, and Queen Sophia. Like, look into those people. And so, you know, I think that's an important thing to look into. Now, I can't do everything, so I hope one of you guys do it. I can't. I mean, I've just been through March Madness with Mr. Handy, and I can't tell you how many notes I took because I wasn't watching March Madness. You know, basketball playoffs. Now, I think tonight might be the big playoff game. I don't remember. But you should see the notes. Look at the stuff. I mean, that's only one. You can't see it. There it is. That's only one packet. I've got 2 more beyond that. So it's a bit overwhelming right now how much I want to talk about, but we'll get through it. Okay, annual car show is 150, which is Donald J. Trump, because, you know, Tom said, so what's this place you're at one point in the video. He said, so what is it exactly? Oh, he just says, it's just the annual car show. You know, he didn't say it's the so-and-so car show at Mar-a-Lago. He didn't say that. It's just the annual car show, which is Donald J. Trump. It's Magdalene Bloodline. I'm doing 150. Jesus and Mary, Brace Yourself, The Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, The Chosen Ones, The 2 Davids, U.S. President, and Don't Freak Out. So anyways, oh, and also Spirited Away, like I keep going back to, like, boop, boop, boop. Are they just going up in this flash, like likely to a ship, you know, I don't know. And at 35, Juan says, that one, and that's 83. I mean, it probably sounds odd to just pick out that one to decode, but it was at 35 seconds. And, you know, I always look at the timestamps, or I mean, I don't always, but often I look at the timestamps to see, you know, what is important that they're saying. And that's for Potus 35. So that one, it equals 83. That equals Jonathan and Catherine and Germany. No, I'm sorry. Now, does it equal Germany? Yes, it does. For a second, I had all this chicken scratchings around it, and I thought I made a mistake, but no, it does. Germany. So Jonathan, Catherine, and Germany. Red Alert and the Donald. Let's see. What else did they say? 222s. Yeah, okay. At 1:35, Juan said, pretty dated now. And pretty dated is 138. Equals Criminal Minds. I'm thinking of the Garden of Eden. I'm not just thinking of the literal criminals doing the stuff. 138 is also Divine Feminine. And it's happening. Let's see what else. Switch Out I'm thinking at the cross, you know, Donald Trump, Jesus Unit, and Donald, this is interesting, Donald J. Drumpf that I was just talking about. So, you know, oh, actually it's spelled a little differently. D-R-U-M-P-F, not P-H. Earlier it was P-H. So, Justice League, Impending Doom, Breaking Hearts, Divine Speaker, who I think the Divine Speaker is. So that was all 138 from Pretty Dated. He said, there's one of my favorites. I don't have all the times on this. There's one of my favorites. So he showed a car with an Esso sticker on it, which is E-S-S-O. Interesting because he's got another two S's in there, like twins, right? And that was what Exxon became. So before Exxon, it was Esso. And so Esso is 58, and that is XRP. And I got to go back and double check something. Hang on before I continue. Yeah, 58. I did 58, right? I can't remember. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. Nasera, Magdalena, Penance, Meets, plural, the sea, I am healed. Doesn't that sound like a little story right there? So that was from, there's one of my favorites, and the Esso sticker. So it was from Esso 58. So one of my favorites is 153, and that equals John Kennedy Jr., Michael the Archangel, My Great Test, like for him, his great test coming up, be ready tonight, exit stage left, unlock the power, like the power of God to resurrect. So, yeah, so Juan points to an orange car, and he said, and then I couldn't hear what he said, something arrangements to drive that one up in Virginia in August. It's a Lamborghini. So doing that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if we're talking about August with the great test. You know, who knows? Dates are always so hard. And also behind him in that scene is a large sign, and it was Beach, Lamborghini, and Beach. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's what it said. It was Lamborghini. It was a Lamborghini Beach sandwich is what it was. Arrangements is 135. It is prophecy is 135. From Revelation 11, I'm thinking, all falls in place. Good judgment. Hell is no joke. Because, you know, goes to hell, comes back, you know, raised again. The final word, then boom, 3 times, boom, boom, boom. Lunar eclipse, it could be a solar eclipse, it could just mean, you know, be the eclipse that's the important part. Likely it's a solar eclipse that will happen. And never forget, and President Trump says that all the time, all that matches 135. Let's see. Oh, and fly, eagles, fly. That's a favorite Anon post. Fly, eagles, fly. He used that in a couple of different ways. Oh, how can I forget this one? Another 135. Remember the thing on my shirt? Okay, the thing on my shirt. 135 equals killer whales. So we keep getting beach references right on the sign right behind him. You know, Beach, Lamborghini Beach. And anyway, Lamborghini is 55. So put all those together, you know, it's like he's at the beach with a killer whale. That's the way it sounds. And there's 2 of them at least, if not more. Because beach was on there twice, so it makes you think of 2. So Lamborghini, it equals 108, but I'm not saying it's 55, the number value. I'm saying Lamborghini is 108, and it equals the words 55. And boom, week ahead, which is another favorite Anon phrase. Fitzgerald, sorrow, the rules, don't be evil, threesome, I apologize, hello there, prime time, medical miracle, the eternal. I mean, doesn't that sound like a story right there? And beach is atom. So it's like you see the beach on the sign twice, and it's like there's two atoms. So, yeah, two atoms. What do you think about the two atoms? That just comes, this stuff is just, I mean, if there's twin JFKs and Junior, and you keep going back to the, Adam and all that, why not back to the, the Garden of Eden and everything? I know I'm hard to follow, but that's the way my brain works. So the whole sign, Beach, Lamborghini Beach, is 146. And it equals wave and ripple, Prince of Wales. I mean, it's spelled W-A-L-E-S, but Prince of Wales, you can think of W-H-A-L-E-S, right? So, let's see. Power outage, divine wind, storm coming, Vlad the Impaler. So again, I go back to, okay, they're fighting the whale, they have a spear, maybe, and they're impaling it. Vlad the Impaler. And I remember the Prince of Wales said that he was related to Vlad the Impaler one time on video, which was very creepy, and that he was very happy about it. Yeah, look up Vlad the Impaler if you don't know. He's one of the scariest people in history. God's immortal, see you later. I know I give you a lot of decodes on these things, but anyway, I'm still on 146. 1818, everyone dies, unforgettable, anti-gravity, like going back up, moving on up, I should say moving on up. That was the theme song from the Jeffersons, and it's another way to look at going back up again. Too big to fail. I remember we've gotten this so many times in decoding. Kill God, not happening, right? That's something I get really often. Kill God, not happening. Too big to fail, right? Too big to fail. So Juan had said that this deal with driving the Lamborghini was going to be in Virginia in August. So Virginia in August is 201. Equals, it's too obvious. Christmas in July. Oh. Humans meet the Lord. Knowledge is power. A poisonous thing in the arm that starts with a V. But what jumped out to me was poison, because in the at the cross, and it sounds like they took herbs or some concoction that they knew of that would make them look dead, but they weren't dead. So that's why that jumped out at me. Figure it out yet? Mrs. Jesus Christ, the Holy Threesome, Christ's brothers, capital punishment, the Great American Comeback, performing miracles. What a wonderful day. And that's another favorite Anon post. It was one where he went to Google and we saw the bicycle leaned up, one of the Google bicycles. Are they blue? Yeah, I think they're blue. And the caption on that photo was underneath was "What a wonderful day." So that all equals what I just said. Yeah, I shouldn't have turned the page. Capital punishment, the Holy Threesome, Mrs. Jesus Christ. So Juan said, this car is winning an award right now. And it was blue and white, and it had a 444 on it, which is a 222 doubled. You remember, follow the twos. And it also had a winged red horse on it, which is a Pegasus. It was a sticker, and I can't remember what company. Was it Shell? I don't remember what company it represented. And I'm just going to read this part. So Pegasus in Greek mythology, Olympian god Poseidon, he was ID'd as the father of Pegasus, and he's usually white, not red, like in the little sticker that we always see, or at least we used to see. So that's interesting. And red is 27, which is JFK. So Pegasus was later caught by, I can't say this, I have not a clue how to say this one, Bellophron, Bellophron, maybe, and he had help from Poseidon and Athena, so that was interesting. And Pegasus allowed Bellophron to ride him to defeat the monster Chimera. So here we have a Pegasus on the car, he's showing it, and Pegasus helped Bellophron beat the Chimera, which is like a genetic blend of creatures into one, which was a scary thing. I don't think that's a coincidence either, that he showed a Pegasus. I mean, in the Chimera, right? Maybe it'll look like partly a whale and partly something else. Maybe it'll have all these snake heads. Ugh. But Pegasus is 88, and that equals Trump, Bloodline, Carolyn, German Eagle, German again, New Body, Past Life, Orange Man. Remember, we were just talking about the Orangery and the Amber Room and Orange Man Bad and all that. Let's see. I'm still on 88 Trump, and it equals false flappy things, plural. You know, the thing that's on a flagpole, plural. False those. And let's see. Yeah, I already told you that part. Sorry. Yeah, I have more down. For some reason, I've got more here on Charlottenburg. I didn't think I had it in another area. Yeah, Sophia. Well, yeah, I think I do know why I had that. Because, you know, I've written this over a long period of time. It's hard to... I've read them recently, but not... I didn't write them recently. So, they called them an elector and an electress, that when they were in... and Queen Sophia was an electress before she was queen. I think that's what they called them in Prussia, the original Prussia, nation of Prussia. And yeah, Frederick was the first king of Prussia. No, I'm sorry. Frederick was the first king of Prussia's second... Oh, she was the first king of Prussia's second wife. I don't know what's wrong with me. So Sophia was the king of Prussia's second wife. Okay, I get it. And, yeah, let's see. Oh, I thought I had a note about that somewhere. I can't keep track of this stuff, you guys. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of information to tie together, you know, and I don't know how people do it, especially when they're all over the place, you know, with a lot of topics, because when you do decoding, you hit a lot of topics. You can't just choose a topic and stick to it and just kind of go from A to Z, you know, like normal people. So you've probably noticed that Juan says a lot. You know, like I used to do that a lot. I try not to, but in the beginning of my videos, I'd say every other word. And you know that Juan doesn't have to say you know, he doesn't have to do that. He can speak however he wants. He can speak perfectly. So, anyway, so Decode, and he said that quite a bit in this, as he was doing this live video stream from Mar-a-Lago. So he said, but he said it at 15:35. So I thought, okay, well, we're going to throw that in here. And that's 34, and that equals DJT. So every time you hear from Juan, it's DJT. And then I can't say the letter. I'm going to try not to. 17th letter, 17th letter. So that letter 2 times equals 34. Let's see. And REK for our Ray Edward Kocha, which we're always getting. And Grace is 34. And Ty and all kinds of, all kinds of things are 34. And it makes me think of the 17th letter post, rig for red, and everybody's trying to figure out what that meant. Well, one way of looking at it, and I know that there's many ways, but one way to look at it is rig is 34, that's DJT. 4, F-O-R, 4 is 39, and that's Jackie. And red is 27, and it's JFK. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it's President Trump, Jackie, and JFK. But okay, sorry about that. Probably scratched my nose. 39. When I was looking at Jackie at that moment, I was noticing this too. So 39 is also JON for Jonathan, and it also equals meat, which I think we already talked about in the same video. And I lied. Okay? Like, I lied about what happened. Yeah, so interesting, huh? So, and JFK equals a lie. So we've got Jackie with I lied, and you got JFK at 27 equals a lie, and it equals faked a game and a flag. So, I don't know. I really think that's what happened. I really do. So when you do the whole phrase, rig for red, I know I'm going off the Mar-a-Lago Car Show, but one thing leads to another. Rig for red is 100, and that equals triplet. Overboard, I am Christ, time machine, stress, big crowds, the evidence, forgive me, be strong, Rocket Man, like going up, we bend time, I'm coming back, and toasty. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that. That was quite long and involved, but, and I know we went all over the place, but I got the gist of the car show. I know I didn't get every phrase, but that was the gist of it. A lot of comms, and I'm sure if you put some of those same phrases in, you'll get different answers, because that's what God wants you to see. Because there's more than one storyline going on at a time. This is just kind of the storylines that I'm on. You could be thinking of a whole nother storyline, and that's perfectly fine. So anyway, I want to thank you guys, and if you stayed this long, I want to thank you guys. Anyone who's donating, I appreciate it. It helps us with vet bills and our medical bills, which are ridiculous. And I'm on Buy Me a Coffee now. So if you're interested in that, just go to buymeacoffee.com and look up my name, MrsHandyRU. I'm also under Venmo, PayPal, all that stuff. So Patreon, everything. So anyway, I hope I gave you some value for your time. And I love you guys. And be good to each other. And we're going to get through it together, like I always say. See you later. Bye.